The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Earnestly Podcast. I'm your host, Ernest E.J. Christian. It's a sort of Super Bowl preview show today. It's a loaded show. And our only episode of the week, really be honest here. And the reason I did that is I wanted to kind of put everything in one package for this episode. I want to dump everything in one fell swoop. Plus, personal things aside too, had a lot of stuff going on in the week, so decided to do one big episode for the week, and we'll get back to normal with the show and with the episodes next week. Big show today, of course. We have our old friend, which has been on the show in a while, our good friend from Castle Country Radio up in Utah, Jordan Buscarini, radio host of Drive Time Sports in Price, Utah. He'll be on the show. He's a big Rams fan too, big LA Rams fan. Talk about the Rams and talk a little bit of the situation with the Lakers. A big Laker fan too. We'll talk about Anthony Davis and all that, and what's going on with the Lakers and that situation with Davis as he requested a trade from the Pelicans early in the week. Our good friend Zach Degenerate on the show. We're going to talk Super Bowl prop bets. This was a fun one. Second time doing it. We've done the show 8 years, and this is only the second time we've ever done a prop bet podcast. Which I actually really enjoy doing. I just realized that in last year. It's like, this is kind of fun. We'll do it again. So we're going to go through some of the big prop bets for Super Bowl 53 to the Rams and the Patriots. And then, of course, our weekly student game report with our good friend Kyle Nash as we discuss, of course, the NFL at large, preview the Super Bowl, and maybe a couple of other things on the fringes that's going on in pop culture and everything else that may be. So, big show today. Enjoy it. Here we go. No cold open today. We're gonna go right into the episode. So here we go. All right, on the line with us here, radio personality and good friend of the show, my friend Jordan Buscarini, host of Drive Time Sports in Price, Utah, on KOAL 107.3 FM. Jordan, what's up? Your Rams in the Super Bowl. How excited are you?
Yeah, it's kind of surreal, man. It's funny. I was had a conversation with Jim Everett on my show yesterday, and
nice.
He said, pinch me, right? And I told him, it's funny because about 3 years ago, someone asked me the question. They said, would you rather the Rams win a Super Bowl in St. Louis or the Rams move back to L.A.? And I said, the Rams move back to L.A. I mean, it just fits for the Rams to be back in L.A. I can have both. On Sunday. That's incredible. So, I'm
in
very
record time. And in record time, too. It didn't take long. Like, literally within 3 years.
Yeah, it didn't take long at all. I mean, Sean McVay steps in. I thought that it was time for Jeff Fisher to go. I did appreciate everything that Jeff Fisher brought to the organization. I thought that he brought some sort of consistency to St. Louis. I mean, there were some dim years between, Linehan and then Steve Spagnuolo. There were some dim years. And I thought that Jeff Fisher brought back the competitive edge. I've always felt like there's a certain coach to get you back into competitive relevancy, and then you need a new mind to get you over the top. And
right.
So I thought the timing is right. Sean McVay has come in. They're calling him now a wizard, a genius. If you have lunch with Sean McVay, if you know him, EJ, if you can set up a lunch date with Sean McVay, you'll get an interview for a job at some point in time in the NFL, because everything that guy touches right now is just complete gold.
Apparently,
so everything is kind of falling into place.
You can be apparently he has his own person that keeps on the sideline. Crockett. What's the official name of the guy that does the? Is he a honorary coach? I guess the guy that holds him back from going.
No,
to the field?
he's actually a strength and condition coach. But come game day, his job, he's going to follow McVay and make sure he stays off the field.
By the way, I love the last week you were trolling everybody on the Rams Saints drama on my Facebook. It was great.
Oh, give me a break. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that. Look, I would have some sort of sympathy for New Orleans if they would embrace a tad bit of accountability. Just a tad bit.
Yeah.
EJ, anyone who has watched football, and I don't expect Saints fans to approach the NFC Championship with a level of, of sanity, because I get it, I understand it. But anyone who's not a New Orleans Saints fan cannot possibly look at that game and say that New Orleans lost because of a pass interference call. That's not why they lost. They lost because, well, for one, they blew a 10 and a 13-point lead at home.
Hello.
Two separate occasions, they had a double-digit lead. On top of that, I thought Sean Payton was badly outcoached by Sean McVay, especially in the second half. Statistics will prove that. The Rams found a way to shut Kamara down out of the backfield. Kudos to Wade Phillips. And then you take a look at the clock management. It was horrible for Sean Payton. The game was over. When the 50-50 ball comes down in Ted Ginn's hands, the game's over. You run the ball 3 times with Mark Ingram. If he picks up a first down, then the game is definitely over. If he doesn't, kick a field goal, you give the ball back to the Rams with no timeouts, less than a minute to play. But it was as if Sean Payton had a point to prove. He was going to try to get Mike Thomas in the end zone. Like, it was almost, if I'm a Saints fan, I'm upset at Sean Payton. And then on top of that, we saw the difference between Drew Brees and Tom Brady. Drew Brees had the ball first in overtime. I thought he made a bonehead play, throws an interception. Instead of taking a sack, relying on your special teams, he tried to loft it up, throws a pick, puts the Rams in field goal range. So I'm tired of Saints fans. I really am. I'm tired of it. I know Cam Jordan wore a shirt to the Pro Bowl that said, blow whistles, not plays. Look, make plays, not excuses. That would be my message to the New Orleans Saints and their fans.
But let me ask you, as a friend here, off the record, forget the fact that you being a Rams fan and all that. Was it a pass interference?
It was absolutely pass interference.
Okay.
There's no question. There's no question it was pass interference. But at the same time, there was a face mask on the previous possession that would have set up first and goal for one for the Rams. It wouldn't have been 2020. It would have been 24-20 because, and you can go back over the course of the entire game. There were instances of missed calls throughout the entire game. So, look, it is what it is. The human error is part of the game. It will always be part of the game. And it just worked out that the Rams made plays down the stretch. Give credit to Jared Goff, who outplayed Drew Brees as well. He made a couple of plays in overtime that were phenomenal. And then Zerline was as clutch as could be, knocking a 48 and a 57-yard field goal in that type of pressure situation. And EJ, his 57-yarder would have been good from 65.
Yep. By the way, I hate people say, "Oh, the game was rigged." No, saying the game was rigged is actually giving the official a pass. They were just horrible in general. Yes, on that game a couple weeks ago. That's giving them a pass. Sorry, It wasn't rigged.
That wasn't rigged. How many instances did New Orleans get away with the delay of game? Twice that I can think of.
And no, not only that, but there was no bad matchup of the final 4 teams in the conference championships.
There wasn't.
Any match you get, it's great for the NFL. They're getting ratings no matter what. Saints, Patriots, Saints, Chiefs, it doesn't matter. You're getting a great match no matter what.
Right. There's no question about it.
It's lazy. To me, it's lazy to say it's rigged. That's my opinion.
It is lazy. It's a world we live in today where there's no accountability. It's easier to blame everyone else.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where we're sitting at right now.
Yeah.
With the New Orleans Saints. And I think it's kind of we can use it as an analogy for, again, where we're at as society today. There's no accountability. It's easier to blame everyone else. That's kind of the way I've approached it.
Right. All right. I'm a little concerned for you guys this weekend because I'm leaning Patriots. I'm not saying I want the result, but I'm concerned for one reason. Todd Gurley. What's up with him? Like, they pulled him in the third quarter of that game against the Saints. He hasn't looked the same, really. He did okay against Dallas in the divisional round, but overall, since that injury, he hasn't looked the same. And I fear he's still hurt. Now, no one said anything about that yet, but I still fear he's still hurt.
I feel that he's still hurt as well. You got to remember, he didn't play. Basically, he had a month off.
Yeah.
He basically had a month off because C.J. Anderson comes in, plays the final 2 games of the season, looks great, goes over the 100-yard barrier. I was a little skeptic at that particular time because he did it against the Cardinals and the 49ers. Okay, then the Rams get a bye week in the first round of the playoffs. So Gurley did not play. It was almost 4 weeks that he went without playing. He looked good against Dallas. He did. He went over the 100-yard barrier. C.J. Anderson is a saint because 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, Gurley's not taking punishment in between the tackles. I mean, that's exactly what you want from someone like C.J. Anderson. He was great in that game against Dallas. And so I guess if we're going to lean on the Dallas game, maybe he's not injured. Maybe it just was not his day. And if that was the case, kudos to Sean McVay. Because the old saying goes, dance with the one that brought you. Well, Todd Gurley was the MVP of the league for about the first 12 weeks of the season.
Correct.
And then things started tapering off a little bit. And he put him on the bench. Now, you got to remember in this game, and I'm not going to go back to what we just hashed out about the Saints, but Gurley gave New Orleans 3 points by letting the ball go through his hands. He may have cost the Rams 7 points on a possession after that, where he dropped a wide open pass on 3rd down. I know there was a penalty on that play, so I mean, you're kind of assuming a lot. But out of the backfield, Gurley was non-existent. So in extension, the way Sean McVay runs things, the Rams are so great on outside zone blocking, and that's why McVay is able to utilize Jared Goff in the drop back play action, which I believe he uses something like 76, 77% of the time. Gurley out of the backfield is an extension of the run game, and he was non-existent out of the backfield. You would expect the kind of game from Gurley that you saw from Kamara. You would expect the kind of game from Gurley that you saw from James White.
Right.
It wasn't the case. And so if you can find Gurley as an extension of the run game out of the backfield and you have C.J. Anderson to gain the tough yards in between the tackles, the Rams are going to be fine offensively unless Bill Belichick kind of works the same model that that Matt Patricia did. If you go back to a meeting earlier on in the season, the Lions made the Rams look very, very average. And they did that by taking away the outside zone blocking. Play action was not effective through 3 quarters. The reason the Rams won that game is because of the overwhelming talent. So, I'm with you. Todd Gurley needs to be right. I'm expecting more from Gurley out of the passing game than I am out of the rushing game because C.J. Anderson has looked great over the last 4 weeks.
Ironhead. The new Ironhead, man. The new Ironhead.
Yeah, that's a fair comparison, yeah. Ironhead Hayward, absolutely.
I'll tell you what, though. What's been really amazing to watch in these 3 years is seeing Jared Goff from his rookie year when obviously with Jeff Fisher which was terrible, obviously, to being now at the cusp of winning the Super Bowl. Jared Goff has really come to his own, especially in this postseason too.
Jared Goff was fantastic in the NFC Championship game, and I think he's overlooked.
Yeah,
I think he's overlooked because he was going up against Drew Brees. We have the pass interference call. C.J. Anderson did whatever. Todd Gurley did not perform well. If you look at the numbers for Jared Goff, wasn't great. It really wasn't. They weren't standout. But if you go back to the overtime, and this is what I'm meaning when I say he outplayed Drew Brees. Drew Brees was not great in that overtime. And again, I thought he made a poor decision when he was rushed by Dante Fowler, throwing the football up, picked off by John Johnson. Jared Goff was rushed twice. Cam Jordan was right in his face right out of the gate. Saints were going to bring a blitz. If Goff goes down, the Rams are out of field goal range. I'm not sure how he got the ball out, but he found his new safety blanket, Tyler Higbee, picked up positive yardage, and that put the Rams in field goal. He was great. I don't know how Goff got rid of the football. And then, EJ, I can go back into regulation. The Rams are driving. If they score a touchdown, the game's over, right? Robert Woods trips and falls. Should have been a touchdown.
Yep.
You know what flags on it. It's a touchdown. Wasn't a great throw by Goff. Let him a little bit too much. Robert Woods loses his footing. He goes down. Rams don't have any timeouts left. Jared Goff, he takes a snap on 3rd down and immediately just throws the football away. He had the mindset to know that the play wasn't there. There was nothing there. He knew the situation. A guy who hasn't been in this particular situation ever had the mindset to get rid of the football and not try to make something happen. To me, again, it's a hidden play in football. They call them hidden plays. If he tries to make something happen and say he finds Brandon Cooks over the center of the field, game's over. Rams lose this football game. So I think Jared Goff has really developed into something special. He's been very fun to watch. And a lot of it, you got to give a lot of credit to Matt LaFleur, the new head coach of the Green Bay Packers, because I think we give Sean McVay a lot of credit, and rightfully so, because McVay has been spectacular. But if you go back and you look at Matt LaFleur and where he came from, what year did Matt Ryan have an MVP season? Matt LaFleur was his quarterback's coach.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's when Matt Ryan was spectacular. Then he goes to L.A. He takes over as the offensive coordinator, which we know that McVay is the offensive coordinator in L.A., but still the idea was to bring in a quarterback guru, give him the offensive coordinator title, and let him do his magic. And he did to Jared Goff. And so then he moves on and he becomes the OC in Tennessee, and there were some things I really liked this year. So while we talk about Goff and his development and Sean McVay and what a guru he is, I think you're doing a big disservice if you don't mention Matt LaFleur in this whole equation, because he's hot. He deserves a lot of credit for the Rams being where they're at right now.
Right. Now, obviously not room for them this weekend for obvious reasons. What are your thoughts on the Patriots dynasty? I mean, this is with this core, Belichick and Brady, 9th Super Bowl in 18 years. Your thoughts on that, man?
You'll never see it again. It's incredible to me that Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl when Sean McVay was 16 years old. Think about that. Mm-hmm. Head coach for the Los Angeles Rams just got his driver's license when the Patriots won their first Super Bowl.
It's insane. It really is.
It is. It's incredible. And, I've talked to some former players that played under Bill Belichick over the last week. Defensive coordinator in New York. I know you're a Giants guy. We talked to Leonard Marshall, and he had mentioned that he knew back then that Bill Belichick was going to be a sensational coach because of his attention to detail. they talk about Brady being an assistant quarterback. That's nonsense. We've seen a guy evolve. He hasn't been sacked in the postseason. It's not because of anything he's doing with his mobility. It's because he's using intermediate routes. He's getting the ball out in 2 to 2.5 seconds. Good luck getting to him. And Joey Bosa couldn't get to him, for crying out loud, around the outside. But he's found a way to evolve his game. He's changed the way he's played. Bill Belichick, on the flip side, he's got an idea. He's got a puzzle. He doesn't necessarily look for guys that are going to run 4.3 40s in the combine. He doesn't look at guys that are going to have the highest vertical. He's looking for pieces that fit his puzzle, and that's why it's worked. I mean, you can hate New England all you want. You can call them cheaters all you want. The fact of the matter is you have to respect the greatness. And give a shout-out to Robert Kraft, because, EJ, you and I know, look, we could talk New York Knicks basketball. It doesn't matter as long as James Dolan is in that position. The New York Knicks are screwed, in my opinion. Yep. Right? So an owner goes a long way. So we got to give Robert Kraft some credit as well. He has more playoff wins as an owner than the Green Bay Packers do as an entire franchise. That's amazing when you think about it. I mean, it's incredible.
It's insane. All right, before I let you go, your prediction on the game, unbiased prediction. I know you were rooting for the Rams, obviously, but how do you feel about this game? Come into it.
I've gone back and forth on it. People have called me crazy saying that I like this matchup for the Rams a lot better than I would have liked the Kansas City Chiefs matchup. And the reason being, we saw the best way to neutralize inside pressure from a defensive front four is by getting outside the pocket. Patty Mahomes could do that, and Mahomes did do that at the Coliseum. And it's very difficult to beat a good team twice. So for me, I like the Patriot matchup a little bit more for the Rams. Tom Brady's going to be point A receiver. He's a point A wideout, right? He's not going to have point A, B, C, and D. He doesn't have the mobility. He doesn't have the wills, and the Rams are too good defensively. Patrick Mahomes has A, B, C, and D, right? So I like Wade Phillips in a 2-week span to kind of prepare for point A. I think your options are a little bit limited. We were also talking about hidden hidden players, underwhelming players that will have an impact in this game. And for me, we talked about Tyler Higbee for the Rams. He is the safety net. Everyone's talking about Josh Reynolds filling in for Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was so important to this Rams offense. Josh Reynolds is not the safety net for Jared Goff. Tyler Higbee is the safety net for Jared Goff. On the flip side, if I look at New England, Cannon on the offensive line is going to be huge in this game, and I think Devlin's going to be huge coming out of the backfield as well. The best chance New England has to win this game is to do exactly what they did against the Chargers. You take up 7-8 minutes, you have a successful drive, you go 3 of 3, 4 of 4 on third downs, you keep Jared Goff and Sean McVay on the sideline, and the Patriots will take advantage of this game. Now, this is my take on it. If it's a low-scoring game, 17-10, 17-13, 16-10, Patriots win. That's the way the Patriots want to play this game. If we get into the 20s, Rams win this game.
Because of shootout, like last year, because the Eagles. Yeah, I agree.
If it's a shootout, the Rams win this game.
Yeah.
If the Patriots can keep this a low-scoring affair and keep the Rams offense off the field, they'll win the game. So, again, what is the over-under, by the way? You would know that. You were
56 and a half. I'm a degenerate. 56 and a half.
62 and a half?
No, 56 and a half.
56 and a half. Okay,
yeah,
56 and a half.
Yeah.
If it's the under, if it's under by a significant amount, the Patriots win this game. If it's around that 56-point mark, I don't see how New England's going to win this football game. And I would also expect Rob Gronkowski is going to play a factor in this game. And he may not even catch a single ball, but he's going to play a factor in this game for the same reason that Devlin's going to play a factor in this game, right? James White is the X factor offensively for the Patriots. And so, you know what? I'm going to take the Rams to win this game. I'm going to go 34-27. If it's a one-possession game and New England has the ball late, then goddamn, that's all I can really say.
Shit your pants. Yeah, just do that because it's Brady. You know that.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Although, how did Philly basically end the Super Bowl last year? They brought pressure around the outside, if I remember correctly, right? It was Chris Long that jarred the ball loose. So, establish a presence defensively up front. This Rams front seven is going to play a huge factor. Does Wade Phillips go to press coverage? If he does that, really you're relying on some pressure up front. You're going to bring, LaMarcus Joyner or John Johnson around the top, play man-to-man coverage on the outside, which I like because you have Aqib Talib, you have Nickel Roby-Coleman, you have Marcus Peters, and Marcus Peters has been beat up in the media. He's fine if he's your number 2 defensive back. He's not a burner. He's a 4-5-40 type guy, so he can stick with someone of the likes of Edelman. So again, maybe you go man-to-man pressure, you bring coverage up over the top. There's several. I'm curious on the Wade Phillips, Bill Belichick chess match. That's what it is to me.
Yeah.
It's Josh McDaniels and Sean McVay, but to me, the deciding factor in this is what does Belichick bring defensively compared to what Wade Phillips brings defensively. Give me the Rams. I'm going to go 34-27. Rams win.
Okay. Oh, quick before you go. Big Laker fan, obviously. You are. The Anthony Davis saga. All signs point to L.A., except now the reports are now that Dell Demps, Pelicans GM, has not taken any of the phone calls from the Lakers and is ignoring the Lakers right now, and has said that the rumor is that the Pelicans will not do any business with the Lakers right at this time, which I think is horseshit, because I think they'll have to at some point. Your thoughts?
Well, it's stupid because Lonzo Ball is going to be an all-star at some point in time in his career. Like, I'm a believer in Lonzo Ball. I've been a believer in Lonzo Ball since his days at UCLA. And Kyle Kuzma is going to continue to be a scorer in this league. And I'm of the mindset that if the Pelicans called the Lakers right now, they said, we want Lonzo Ball, we want Brandon Ingram, we want Kyle Kuzma, we want Zubac and a first-round pick. If you're Magic Johnson, you have to do it. You have to do it. I know Laker fans look at that and they say, are you crazy? You're giving up a young core. I don't care. Because you're bringing in Anthony Davis and LeBron James. This season is shot anyways. You're bringing in LeBron James, Anthony Davis. In my mind, that's number one and number two greatest players in the world as we speak. Mm-hmm. And you can add another max contract this offseason. I don't care if it's Kyrie. I don't care if it's Klay Thompson. I don't care if it's Kawhi Leonard. You get one of those three guys with LeBron, AD, EJ, they can grab you and I on a minimum contract and they'll win an NBA championship. I'm convinced of it. So to me, you would be nuts if you're the Lakers to walk away from any offer that New Orleans brings to you. In my mind, the Lakers don't have any leverage over New Orleans. And the reason they don't have any leverage over them is because what happened in the Paul George situation? Right? The Lakers refused to include Jordan Clarkson. They refused to include Julius Randle or a combination of them. I can't really remember.
It sounds so foolish now in hindsight. Doesn't it? It sounds so stupid in hindsight.
Oh,
Jordan Clarkson.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous when you put it in hindsight.
Yeah.
They relied on free agency, and it didn't work out for them. I don't believe the Lakers have any leverage in this. I believe the Pelicans can dictate any sort of trade. But I'm saying right now, if the Lakers find a way to acquire Anthony Davis, either right now or this offseason, they will win a championship next year. They will.
Even with the Warriors having Durant in tow still, assuming Durant comes back?
Don't care. How are you going to stop a team with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and let's throw Kyrie in. Let's go against the grain, the thinking of Klay Thompson. Let's go against the idea of Kawhi Leonard. Let me throw Kyrie in there. How do you defend that team? How do you stop them? Is Kevin Durant going to man up Anthony Davis? How are you going to stop this?
As long as LeBron is not...
LeBron James is still the best player in the world.
No, I agree. But as long as LeBron does not, relegate Davis to playing the Chris Bosh role, I think Davis has to do more than just being a perimeter shooter, this time around, if LeBron's going to have a big...
And that's a fair point. You know
what I mean? Davis has to be Davis. He has to be the dominant factor of the team, to be honest with you. So that's just my opinion.
No question.
So, anyway.
But look,
go ahead.
If they don't pull the trigger, EJ... the Lakers Magic can't screw this one up, and I don't think he will. I mean, you put your faith in Magic. Typically, good things happen. We know this. So, eventually, New Orleans is going to have to trade him to LA. Otherwise, would you take a lesser return to prove a point that you're not sending him to LA? Come on, that's stupid.
Just despite what did Jabari say on his Instagram post? Fuck the kids. Let's go. Fuck the kids. That's what he said. Fuck the kids. That's it. Done. Anyway, follow Jordan. Follow Jordan on Twitter, of course, at Jordan_DTS. He's the host of Dry Time Sports on KOAL 107.3 FM in Price, Utah. Jordan, good luck to your Rams on Sunday. We'll talk soon.
I appreciate the invite. Thank you very much.
Okay, on the line with us, our old friend, Zach, the gambling degenerate. We're going to talk Super Bowl prop bets for the second year in a row. Zach, we've done this podcast together, you and I, this is our 8th year doing this, and yet this is only the second time we've done Super Bowl prop bets on the show.
Oh, good. I was gonna say I would have put the over under at 1.5 times. I was like, I know I get twisted, but
yeah,
I don't remember doing it too often.
No, we never did. We did last year one time. That was it, and then I figured we'd do it again for fun. It's funny. I don't even know how we did on the results. I just fucking just did it for the fun of it. Just to have something to talk about. But maybe this year I'll keep track of it this time. No, maybe I'll keep track of it this time. Because I think what it is last year I had to work during the game, so I couldn't even navigate. What was Lady Gaga last year who sung the national anthem? It was Lady Gaga.
I have no clue.
Yeah, you probably drunk at that time. You probably really drunk at the time, but no, but like
that's when I'm getting up to get food.
Yeah,
that time is my salvation. Because I don't want to miss a single commercial either. Because those are the good things.
Yeah, for the second year in a row, I'm going to be working for my buddy who's a Pats fan. His boy's back in a game for the third year in a row, being a good friend. Last year, like all these old things, like the coin toss and all that, I can't really follow that because I'm at work, But whatever. I'll see what happens here. We'll figure it out. So I have the official Bovada Super Bowl party prop sheet from Bovada.lv. Guys, check it out if you get a chance. And you know what? This year we'll keep track what's going on here on the national anthem and everything else. And it was kind of fun last year. We did the podcast on this, so we'll go through that first, and then we'll go to the game, and we'll quick to the game in terms of the spread and all that, how you feel with the game and all that. So ready to go?
Yeah, man.
All right, here we go. So the first thing here to have on the sheet is how long will it take Gladys Knight to sing the national anthem? The over/under is 1 minute and 47 seconds. That's kind of low, in my opinion. Lady Gaga, I believe the over last year was at 2 minutes and 5 seconds, I believe. This is low. Maybe because she's older, like last night. I don't know. I would go over here still.
She'll get winded, man. It depends on if she's bringing the oxygen tank up with her.
She ain't that old, bro. She don't look old. Black don't crack, you know that? Come on.
It don't crack, but it still get old.
I'm gonna go over.
How old is she? Like 75?
No, not that old, bro. Well, hold on. Maybe she is a little older. Oh, that's hold on. Let me see. I think she's about late 60s. I don't know. I'm gonna go over. What you got?
I'll go over too. I mean, 147 does seem low.
Yeah, you gotta fix just show off at least one line of the song. I'll tell you right now, she is. Oh, dude, you're right. She's 74 years old. Sure as don't look like it, though, I'll tell you that much. Not even close. Like I said, black don't crack. I know I'm sexy as hell. Zach, come on now. Shit. I'm 38 years old, looking like I'm 22.
Dude, I really think you need to go get your eyes checked, and in a bad way.
Oh, boy. All right.
I'll let you slide on Gladys doesn't look 75, but you look closer to 75 than 22.
My belly looks like 75 on 22. All right. No more funsies. Okay. All right. Next one here is what will the result of the coin toss be? Heads or tails? I'm gonna go tails.
Always go tails.
Yes.
Always.
Is that the Belichick rule? Always go tails, I think.
No, it's a man's rule.
Okay.
You always go with ass.
Okay. There we go. See? Yeah. Yep. Well, that being said, who will win the coin toss? I'll say the Pats. The Pats always get lucky.
The Pats will win it, and they'll defer to the second half.
Mm-hmm. All right. Which coach will be mentioned first on TV after the kickoff? I'm going to say Bill Belichick.
Yeah. I'm going to go Sean McVay just for the fact that he'll be getting the ball first.
No, but it depends who's mentioned first, though.
Yeah, I know. So once you see that the Patriots elect to
defer,
receive in the second half,
okay,
yeah, the first thing to be mentioned would be Sean McVay and his offense.
All right. So, what will the first offensive play of the game be? Run or pass? I'm gonna go ahead and say pass. I say first down, play action, fake.
I say it'll be Gurley's one and only rush.
What? One and only?
No. This isn't the NFC Championship. He'll get a few runs.
Yeah, what a
He'll
say,
get a few
man.
plays.
Although, I'll be honest with you, man, I'm a little concerned about him, though. We'll see. Maybe 2 weeks helps, but I think he's still hurt. All right, which team will commit the first penalty of the game, the Pats or the Rams? I say Rams.
False start. Yeah, I say a false start.
I say nerves hit right away. Yep. First possession of the game. Yep. All right. Will there be a score in the first 6 minutes and 30 seconds of the game? Yes or no? I will say yes. Somebody get a field goal at least.
I'll say no. The Pats are notorious for not scoring in the first quarter of the Super Bowl. And if Sean McVay doesn't score on his opening drive, then there's a good chance
I think he will.
the time will run out.
I think he will score the first on the drive. The next one's
Wow.
next question. What would the first scoring play of the game be? A touchdown or field goal / safety? I go field goal for the Rams.
Oh, I'd take field goal too.
Yeah. Which team will score first? Obviously, we both say the Rams. Which team will record the first quarterback sack? I'm going to say the Patriots are going to do that.
Yeah, don't you have to say the Patriots? Because until the Patriots give up a sack,
Yeah.
the only team on the football field that's going to get one is going to be the Patriots.
That O-line's been great this offseason. It's in like a freaking shield. Like he's a superhero, and that's his weapon, the shield. Oh my God! I mean,
yeah,
it's incredible.
If I'm that offensive line coach, I am asking for a pay raise.
Hell yeah! But you know what they'll do? They'll ship him out anyway. They'll probably ship him out and get him traded, or don't resign him. And then you know what the Pats are with players.
I'm talking about the line coach.
Oh,
Jesus.
okay. Oh, the coach, you mean? Okay, yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Which team will record the first? Well, you said that right, actually. What? Oh, here we go. Here's some. You're probably not going to watch this. I don't know how you feel about this stuff. What will be the predominant color of Adam Levine's top at the start of the halftime show? Black or any other color? I'm going to say any other color. I'm taking a feel on this one.
Yeah. Come on, go to the field. It's like Tiger.
Yeah, exactly. What will be the result of the first coaches challenge? Play overturned or play stands? Ooh,
Overturned.
Zach. Overturned?
Overturned.
I say overturned also too. I do. All right.
So much controversy lately. It's gonna get overturned.
Yeah, absolutely. After that Saints and Rams game, yeah. Will Rob Gronkowski score a touchdown in his last game as an NFL player? My prediction, anyway. Yes or no? I say
No.
What?
No.
I don't know.
He will get shut out, but I also don't see it as his last game.
You know this is his last game?
No.
I think it is. I've been saying all year long it's his last season anyway, so I'd be a hypocrite to not to go the other way at this point. I think it's his last game. I'm gonna say yes. He'll get a score. I don't know why.
Do you think he gets multiple scores then?
No, one
if
score.
If it's his last game, just the one.
Just one score. I think then Brady will pass it around.
So no MVP honors.
No. So don't try to bet that those odds on that one. All right. Will Brandon Cooks score a touchdown? Yes or no? I don't know. What do you think?
I say yes. Oh, I think there's a guy who really wants to score against somebody.
I think it's the whole team, in fact.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll go yes. I'll go yes also, too. I'll do that. All right. Will there be a successful 2-point conversion in this game? I'm going to say yes, because I think there'll be a situation where somebody might be down 8 points, and they need to score a 2-point conversion, and they do it.
No.
No? Wow.
Attempt. I say a failed attempt.
Failed attempt. Interesting. Okay. Will there be a successful 2-point conversion in the game? No, that's not that, dummy. Will Tom Brady, throw an interception? I'm sorry. I'm going to say yes. He'll throw a pick this week.
Oh, yes. I say 2 picks.
Oh, 2 picks? Wow. Ooh. All right. I think...
I am not calling for the Patriots, by the way.
You know what?
I'm going for the Rams, so...
Okay, but who... Okay. Messy torn. I don't want Pats fans to be happy, but I also love Tom Brady. So, there you go. I'm torn. All right. Will a kick hit the upright or crossbar? I say no.
No.
Yeah. That's a rare occasion. Cody Parker's not playing this game, by the way. So.
I think he's the only guy who can do it, actually.
Yeah. Will there be a flea flicker attempt in the game? You know, Brady did one actually in the Chiefs game.
Yes, I would imagine the Rams would try and dial one in just because they saw it on their game film.
Yeah, I like that too. I'm gonna go yes. I can see it on the Rams end. Rams a little more tricky.
Yeah.
Sean McVay's a little more, liberal with the play calling. Okay. How many rushing yards will Todd Gurley have on Sunday night? Over-under is 72.5. I'm going under. I think they're gonna pound him and C.J. Anderson. The injury. I think he's hurt. I think he's really hurt.
Yeah, I'm taking the under on him.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a Jared Goff game, actually, to be totally honest with you.
I do see it as a run game. I just do not see it being a Gurley game.
It'll be a Gurley / Anderson. He'll get 60 yards, and Anderson may get 60 himself, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I see Anderson putting up probably better numbers overall.
Here's a good one here. How many receptions will Chris Hogan have? Over, under 3.5. I'm tempted to go over, to be honest with you. Chris Hogan's, gets a lot of opportunities. Gets all looks. I'm going to go over. I'll say he gets 4 catches.
Oh, yeah, because that's all they're going to be doing. There's not going to be a lot of runs on the Pats side.
Will any quarterback throw for 400 yards or more in this game? I'm going no.
I'm going to go yes.
Which one? Goff?
I want to say Tom Brady throws for over 400.
Like last year, 500 yards, huh? In a losing cause?
Yeah. Yep.
So 2 years in a row where he's had a balled out game and lost. Wow. Okay.
Well, I think he'll get the yardage. I see him with multiple picks, and I don't know about how many touchdown passes, though.
Right. This should be easy, actually. I don't know. This should be pretty easy here. Who rushed for more yards? James White or C.J. Anderson? I'm going Anderson, of course. He'll get more touches.
Oh, yeah.
That's
definitely C.J. Anderson.
That's easy. James White's mostly a receiver, to be honest with you. He doesn't get a lot of
exactly.
touches in the backfield. Yeah, that's a dumb bet, actually. All right. Who will receive more receiving yards? Julian Edelman or Robert Woods? This is tough. I'm going to tell you why. Because you have one guy who gets a lot more looks, who gets a lot more opportunities, but another guy who can break one open one play.
Yeah.
I think I would go with the volume and take Edelman.
Well, I'm taking Edelman for the simple fact I'm calling for Brady to go for 400 yards.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So, if I had to pick one, I'm picking Edelman.
All right, here you go. Here's your, you'll love this one. How many times will Gisele Bundchen be shown on TV during the broadcast of the game? The over-under is 1.5. I am tempted to go over on this one. Just because she's eye candy, of course.
Is it during the game or during the telecast?
During the broadcast of the game.
Then I'll take the under.
Just one time, huh?
Just get shown. Yeah, just one time during the game. I mean, that's a huge gamble because if it's coming down the wire, you know they're going to show her.
Okay, which team finally will win the Super Bowl? I'm leaning Patriots in this one.
Oh, I'm taking the Rams in a beatdown.
Really? You do realize
Yes.
the Pats don't get blown out in Super Bowls.
You also realize how lucky the Pats are
Well, I mean,
in all of those Super Bowls.
they're the most prepared team in football history, and probably in sports history. I mean, even if the Rams win this game, I don't see a blowout. I don't know. I mean, they are lucky. I will give you that. They are a very lucky team. They get a lot of breaks. At what point do they not get a break? That's the question. That's the good question.
Come on. Time's run out on you.
Well, we'll see. All right, let me see here real quick. I'm gonna a couple more things to ask you before you let you go. This is a short one. No, football locks real quick. I'm going there real quick to see the official line. I believe it's still 2.5. It hasn't moved.
Yeah.
It moved. Initially moved. Go ahead.
Who's your prediction for Super Bowl MVP?
Ooh.
Have you looked at any of those odds?
If the Pats are going to win, I think it's going to be Tom Brady. Where else would you go? The only other guy I will say, the only other guy I would consider in that conversation, James White.
Yes.
James White's value. If the Rams win, it's going to be most likely Jared Goff. But I will say this much: the number 2 guy on that list for me,
C.J. Anderson winning it. I could see them wanting to give it to Aaron Donald.
I was just going to say that. I would say that it's going to be either Jared Goff or that line plays big time for the Rams, and they win. Because if the Rams win this game, it's because they got to the quarterback, which means Aaron Donald is going to be a boss. They see, unlike the Chiefs, and unlike the the Chargers to some degree, but the Rams can get to the quarterback with this 4. You got Sue, you got Donald, and those little guys, so they get to with this 4 guys to get to the quarterback. And if Donald is a boss in this game, he's winning MVP. So
Tom Brady is to win the MVP.
Okay, where are you looking at right now? Where are you looking at right now? On Bovada? Wait, where are you at now on that? So we can look at those odds.
On my actual betting website.
Okay. You degenerate.
Yeah.
Well, are there any other odds, any other prop bets that you want to look at? You want to throw in the mix?
The only ones I would know would be like the MVP. No, usually they have stupid ones like, NBA play, Kevin Durant's total points versus someone's yardage.
Oh, really?
I can't heard about any of those.
I'll parlay all that to make money. This was fun. Put up $5 and parlay everything. Do like a freaking 25-something parlay. Just see what it hits, bro. You never know.
I did an easy one last year. It was basically a 5-team parlay with 5 props, and you were essentially picking 5 players to outduel the opponent's 5 guys. Like who would score first? The running backs who would outdo who on rushing yards,
right.
Who would outdo who on receiving yards and passing yards, and boom. It was easy money last year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, the line is still 2.5 points. The Pats are favorite. I thought this line would come down to at least 2, maybe even 1.5 in the Pats' favor. I'm really shocked that the bettors are favored. I guess because of the luck factor of the Pats and all that. I'm surprised that the Pats are still a favorite that by this much of a margin.
Because the Rams opened at 1-point favorite.
That's what I'm saying. So. Yeah, but wasn't it against the NFC initially though when they won their game? Was it 1 point over the AFC rather?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? And then once the Pats won their game, like an hour later, the Pats were the favorites by 3, I believe.
I don't know about that. I just remembered opening it after the 2 games were completed and the Rams were the favorites.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I was betting this game, I'm not touching the line at all. I'm betting the total points. I'm betting the over on the game.
Yeah, there won't be a defensive showdown in this game.
I think this game might go the same way the AFC title game went, where it's low scoring in the first half. It's like tight game, maybe a 14-7, whatever type of thing. And then all of a sudden,
an eruption in the fourth.
Exactly, and then late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter. Because at some point, defenses get kind of comfortable, and then they just is what it is.
Yeah.
So I think the over is that number is pretty nice actually, 6.5. I'm curious though if the Chiefs won this game, if the Chiefs actually won their game, and the Rams obviously did their thing, which they did. What would the over under based on the game that we saw earlier in the year? Because I believe the final score was 53-50, right? Or 54-51. What would have been the over unders on the Super Bowl for Chiefs and Rams? Do you think 80 plus?
I would think no. I think they would expect a little more defense. But I would expect it to be like 63-64.
Yep. And I probably would take the over. I'm not even joking. Because you saw that in that Chiefs game against the Pats. They could put up 27 points in the span of like 8 minutes. So why do you like the why? Well, you're rooting for the Rams, you said, and you're picking the Rams. Why?
Well, the only danger is the way in which the cornerbacks play for the Rams. But from the second half of the season, I have not been impressed with Tom Brady. I haven't been impressed with Tom Brady much of the season.
No, of course not. I agree.
So then you watch him, and the game against the Chiefs, who really have no defensive backfield, and they still managed, even if you want to say it was tip balls, they had 3 interceptions of Brady until fucking offsides. Bullshit offsides.
Yeah. Oh, it was the right call though. Let's be real.
Yeah, I want to see where that camera actually was. I mean, it was a bad camera angle that they just made it look like that.
No, but he wasn't. In the neutral. Part of the line. So, I get it, but he's got to be smarter than that. He's got to know little things like that. Little things like that cost you a lot of stuff. Hold on a second. Look at this stuff. I'm looking at the odds right now for the Super Bowl for 20. Hold on. Is this? No, it's 2020. Sorry, this is not. No, sorry, this is wrong. I apologize. This is wrong. I was hoping they had the odds of 2020 out yet. They don't have it out yet, though.
No.
I wish they had it. It'd been nice. Something to talk shit about. We'll probably do next. We'll probably do on the pod. I'll have you on the pod next week. We'll talk about that Super Bowl odds next year.
No, it's amazing. The 2 preseason favorites, and one is playing like they were an underdog all year with the Pats.
I feel like you're kind of annoyed by the Pats. Like you're typically a pretty neutral Patriots guy. You don't ever get too pissed at them. Never get too, big on them. But I feel like on this podcast today, you're kind of like annoyed at the Patriots. You sound annoyed.
No, I've just realized how lucky they have been over all these years. And
I agree.
I'm going to expect that for once there will be an anomaly, and it will be the beatdown of the Pats.
Because even their losses, there's a lot of luck involved in that. Like the 2 Giants games, there's some luck there. Like the Tyree catch and the Manning to Manningham catch, and then even
all their wins are luck.
Yeah, I know that. And then even the loss last year, like Brady has 500 yards, and if it wasn't for that fumble, they might win that game. The Eagles didn't stop in the second half of that game.
They don't win the comeback against Atlanta without Edelman's special miracle catch.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. And Michael Butler. Although I gotta say that was really well executed though on defense. But a lot of things had to happen for it to happen though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things had to happen for that play to go down the way it did. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I was hoping to get some 2020 Super Bowl odds at least right now in the interim, but no. I guess I'll have to wait till next year. Wait till next week. I think I'll bring on the pod next week, and we'll talk about the odds, Super Bowl odds that they put out, because they'll have the odds out pretty much immediately after the game on Sunday. So,
all right, sounds good.
I'll post on the site, of course. So, Zachary, I'm leaning Pats, like I said. I'm taking the over. So, Zachary, enjoy the game. We'll check it next week, and we'll talk about what wrap up the year, and we'll talk about the Super Bowl odds.
All right, man. Later.
Okay, on the line with us every week, as always, Kyle Nash, doing the game report. Kyle, what's up?
Hey, what's good, EJ? Ready to do the football thing.
Hey, how was...
Well, I mean, one last time for the NFL, but hey, listen, if everything works out well, you may be hearing about the Alliance of American Football, depending on how that goes. But that's a whole other topic.
Are you going to follow that?
Well, I'm currently trying to see about whether or not I will be covering them at this point. That's what I'll say.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you start covering it, get credentials for that, then obviously going to follow it. I mean,
yes, I do. The Orlando Apollos will be playing in the same stadium as the UCF Knights, so I figured it was worthwhile to take a shot.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's going to be funny is like you got the AAF starting this year, next month actually, in fact, and then you have next year the XFL scheduled to start in 2020. It's if we were to assume that these two leagues do actually maintain for at least 5 years, it's going to be very funny and very weird to at least adjust ourselves to football pretty much at least most of the year being available to us now in some form or fashion. It's going to be a big adjustment for us, I must admit. If you do in fact plan on investing time in these two leagues.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. That's like telling me instead of, being visited by Scarlett Johansson only when she's filming a Marvel movie, instead, you'll get her year round. Oh, okay. Yes, please.
I mean, I will say the intriguing thing about these leagues too is that you will, because of the social media presence, especially too, and because we know more, there's a lot more information now in comparison to when the I would say USFL, but most of the XFL, you at least will be familiar with some of these names.
Right. A lot of these cats, about 70% of them have some sort of NFL connection, and those that don't are elite college players in their own right. That could be known. Just to use a couple examples, UCF has 5 players over here that have made the Apollo's 52-man final cut, which they just did yesterday. Aaron Evans was on the Eagles squad. I think he was on the practice squad at the very least. He signed with them as an undrafted free agent. Didn't remain on the roster. So now he's with the Apollos to keep his game up and film running. And then Tony Garrard of UCF didn't get anywhere in particular, but is now on the Apollos to, again, try and get some film and develop himself as a player. And listen, a good defensive tackle or offensive tackle in either of those guys' cases is something you're just an injury away from getting called up.
If I'm not mistaken, the league opens the week after the Super Bowl, right?
That's correct. That would be February 9th, the Saturday following.
And there are 8 teams currently, right?
Also correct.
Okay. So you already know what's going on. You're already following this thing out the gate.
I mean, I would be able to do a very good job of following it if I wasn't at least aware.
Yeah. Well, of course, Kyle. Come on now. All right. Let's talk about the game a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, there are plenty of people who try to act like I don't know anything, but then
like who?
Like who? Good.
Not me.
Oh, that's a trap. That's so a trap.
Not me.
There's so many traps.
Oh God. There you go. Every time.
So many traps.
This is sad. I mean, if the AAF becomes a thing now, we might have to extend this studio game report every week into the winter and spring months.
You're welcome, America.
All right, let's talk about.
Hey, at least I'll put it this way: you won't know the outcomes of the AAF games like you do with the NBA. You can still kind of assume that the Warriors are going to be in the finals. So there you go. At least the AAF's regular season still matters.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, they've been blasé for a good portion of the year, and ever since Billy Cousins came to the team, he got healthy and now is playing. They've won 11 straight games. I don't know if they lose. I honestly don't know if they lose another game the rest of the year. I'm not even joking when I say that.
Hey man, Listen, if you overreact to a team like that, having some downtime because they don't give just a damn. Listen, Heat fan, back in the days when the big three were there and Brown was winning you a championship or two, there were lows like that, and people would start freaking out, and it didn't matter. So it's the same thing.
That's true. All right, let's get to the Super Bowl. Couple of storylines I'll touch on here. We like storylines in this podcast, you and I. Obviously, one of the things. I mean, look, this is his ninth Super Bowl, so at this point, you know, this is always a beaten down talking point. Tom Brady's legacy. To me, it's this simple. Right. Nothing's going to change. I believe, at least for me anyway, nothing perception-wise is going to change for Tom Brady whether he wins or loses this game. You know, look.
I don't
you don't agree.
You're mostly correct.
Huh?
Well, I mostly agree with that, but I don't like the more postseason / playoff / Super Bowl runs he makes, the more people will begin to be inclined to forget Spygate. Okay, and I mean, say what you want about the whole deflate thing. I mean, we've talked about that as nauseam as the rest of the world. I don't necessarily associate him with that blame. It's just something that he benefited from theoretically, if it even was a thing. But the more accolades he piles up, the more accomplished he becomes, the more people are going to be inclined to forget Spygate and write it off as, well, it wasn't that big an advantage, and even without that, he still has X championships.
Right.
So I think to that point, and I'm splitting hairs, obviously. I don't think I think that would kind of be relieved to a certain extent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's funny because like Spygate, you know, again, you made a good point about there. You know, well, not it actually benefited the Patriots to some degree. I mean, that's up to the individual to decide themselves. It is funny though that ever since the Deflategate, this has been pretty much the launching point of Brady's second part of his dynasty. You know, the Pats went, what was it, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, almost 10 years without winning a Super Bowl between 2004 and 2014.
Nobody wants to talk about that,
right? And then the minute the run that they go on to winning his fourth Super Bowl, you know, during that
which was handed to him on a platter, right?
There you go. The Deflategate happens, and ever since the Deflategate happens, they've been in the last four Super Bowls. So I don't know. Maybe it's the hunger now to prove people wrong. I don't know. I just don't think.
Of course it is.
I just don't think nothing changes for me. I mean, to me, any other Super Bowl win for him at this point, if he wins on Sunday, it's another cherry on top. If he loses, it doesn't knock anything. He's on the 9 Super Bowls. I mean, technically speaking, the Rams.
Put it this way: how many major players for a league of an air quotes Brady caliber have been suspended? Has LeBron ever been suspended? Has Magic Johnson ever been suspended?
No.
Has, I think maybe Jeter was suspended one game, maybe, but hell, there's so many games in baseball, who cares? You know, Brady having a suspension on his belt is a bad look. But again, the more Super Bowls he wins, the less likely people are to remember it.
I also do disagree with suspension, though, especially the amount of games, especially. But that's a
different topic.
I agree.
The reason why the suspension was that long had more to do with pressure surrounding domestic violence and those suspensions, and it carried over then into the suspension protocol, for lack of a better word, that was forced to be levied, which is to say there was no protocol. So, the public at large was comparing it, but we don't want to get too deep in that. I probably already did, but anyways.
All right. Is this Sunday? Will Sunday this week be our boy Rob Gronkowski's last game?
I think at day's end, it's going to be about the money, and I think he's going to. I honestly think he's going to push it one more year. The fact that he's taken the time to stop and think about it instead of jumping right into, let's say, the WWE or something like that. And he's also proven that he's more valuable than everyone wants to talk about like, oh, he's aged out. Okay, great, fine. He's not getting 60-yard touchdowns anymore. They go to him in the red zone. They go to him on third downs as the ultimate possession receiver because he's the broadside of a barn. Okay? We saw it in the overtime game. That's not going away in 1 year's time. Also, he happens to be a great blocker, and the older Brady gets, the more they run the football. Maybe he's a little bit expensive for a blocking tight end. I will totally grant that. But I don't know. It's not like they're going to cut him and take the hit in the salary cap. I'm not sure. I don't think he finishes his contract. If he retires, it would be him leaving money on the table, as I understand.
Yeah, I think there's still one more year in his deal, I believe.
So I think he finishes his deal. I really do.
Okay. So you I was going to ask for percentage on that, actually, but it's like 100%. Sure,
I'm going to say about 70%.
Okay, cool. What about Hoodie? Remember you and I last year talking about Belichick and Brady and the whole nine with the article from ESPN with Seth Wickersham and all the infighting, and you and I said, especially coming up the Super Bowl last year and how everything played out with Malcolm Butler and all that, that you and I both agreed that this would be Hoodie's last year with the Patriots, especially if they didn't make the Super Bowl. But now they made the Super Bowl, obviously, but of course a loss can still be polarized too as well. Are we backing off on our? Well, let me ask you first. Are you backing off on your Hoodie last year prediction?
I'm not backing off because I'm not a punk bitch, but I am fully prepared to be told that I was wrong. And the only piece of evidence that makes me that stops me from just declaring it right now are two things. A, the lack of a story. If people were talking about Belichick retiring, I would actually think he's less inclined to do so, based on the history of having some, for lacking a better word, and this isn't a knock on him, but he's a dude that holds a grudge and can be a bit petty. If you start telling him he's going to retire, he's not retiring. Okay, and B, Josh McDaniels taking that Colts job and then doubling back looks even worse now that Frank Reich went in there and did the good job that he did. So it tells me that the Colts product was a thing. Something kept Daniels back. Was it just familiarity? Was it just, hey, his wife says she doesn't want to leave Boston or whatever? I don't even know. But being Belichick's heir apparent, I can't rule out that was part of the situation. And to be honest, there may have been something where Bill was inclined to leave after this season. I'm not buying it, but I can't rule it out either.
Makes sense. I'll back off on it. I'll be the pump bitch and back off a little bit on it. But I will say this though.
And why would you stop now?
Yeah. I will say this though. The McDaniel's name was spinning again. His name was circling the coaching hires and potential hires this offseason, and it pretty much within 2 weeks after the season ended, it was gone. Like, he's committed back to New England. That's the one thing I will say that will tell you that Belichick is still closer to leaving than he is staying. That's the only thing I will say.
We already knew that part. I mean, it's whether or not our 2019 prediction holds.
Right. I mean, I will give it one more year, if anything, but I think he's done. If anything, I think next year's last year. I don't think he goes past next year.
It's hard to believe he'd be coaching in 2020.
Yeah, I just think there's just too much going on, and McDaniel's opportunity and all that. I think and obviously Brady. I think Brady's the year to year. Brady already committed to staying another year. He already said he's not retiring. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Brady. I'm still in this place, and we've had this conversation before, I believe. You're going to have to peel Brady off the goddamn turf. And as much as even I, as somebody who often is in the debate against Brady in certain situations, I don't want to see that. Do I think he's the GOAT? No, I'm sorry. He's not. Deal with it, okay? But he's still a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's still a talented quarterback. And while I often say it's his environment that leads to his success, he still does make the best of it in fantastic fashion. I'm not in a place to want to see what happened to Favre happen to him. I'm not one of these, these Brady venom spitters that wants him to just die on the field. That's not me. I just don't think he's the GOAT. Let's not get it twisted. Now if some Boston fans had to deal with some unfortunate situations, oh darn, but that's a whole other situation.
Right. All right. Let's go to the Rams real quick. To me, this game comes down to one person, honestly. Jared Goff. Period. Because I think the Pats will limit Todd Gurley and even to some lesser extent C.J. Anderson. I think if the Rams win this game, it's because Jared Goff had a humongous game. And to me, it's about him.
I don't agree.
You don't agree? Okay, why don't you agree
I can see
that?
you're coming from.
Why don't you agree,
I think the biggest person on the field is Aaron Donald. I think if Aaron Donald is allowed to dominate and get in and attack Brady, it's not going to matter what the Patriots do. They'll be in a situation where field position will favor the Rams so much they'll at least get in a few field goals. I think stopping Aaron Donald is the single most important thing in this game. Now, should the Patriots manage that, then you're correct. And I'm not even talking about Ndamukong Suh. I'm just saying.
Right. I was going to get to that, actually, with Aaron Donald, because I, did a podcast with on this show, actually, with Zach earlier, and we were discussing MVP odds. And I said on the show, make sure, if you're going to bet value for MVP odds, it's Aaron Donald. Because if Aaron Donald somehow breaks through that Patriots shield and gets at least 2 sacks on Sunday, and the Rams win as a result, he's winning MVP. That's the best value.
In order to get the MVP, 2 sacks is not going to be enough. He's going to be at least he's going to need at least 3, and he's going to have needed to cause a turnover. That being said, if he gets to Brady 3 times, chances are he's going to knock the ball out of him.
Yeah.
So for my money, I don't think 2 sacks is going to be enough. I don't think the public at large finds 2 sacks impressive. And all Goff has to do, conversely, is then if Goff puts up 250 yards passing with more than 1 touchdown, and his touchdowns are more than his interceptions, he's going to get it. They handed the quarterbacks on the platter. We don't need to talk about how Flacco wasn't the MVP for the Ravens. It was goddamn Jacoby Jones, right? And I think, if Gurley or C.J. Anderson runs for 100 yards, I don't even know that they'll need a score. If they break the 100-yard mark against the Patriots, they have a better shot of getting it than Aaron Donald with 2 sacks.
All right. It's time. Prediction. Who's winning this game?
So the logical pick is the Rams. They dominate on every single bit of field. Their defensive front has no reason that I can think of that why they shouldn't press the Patriots. Their corners are a bit limited, but if Brady's on his back like Heather Locklear in Melrose Place, he can't throw the ball.
Were you a fan of that show?
Not really.
Were you a fan of that show?
What's that?
Were you a fan of that show?
I never really watched it. I just knew it was a thing.
Okay. It is our age group. Just for the record, it is our age group.
It is. No, it was on Mondays, and I was often stuck going with my parents to their bowling league. So,
okay.
And DVR wasn't a thing yet, kiddies, so don't think about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, if Brady's on his back, he's not completing passes. Sure, he may get 1 or 2 down the field for big gains, but at day's end, if Aaron Donald is able to wreak the havoc that he can, the Patriots should be limited. However, there's no reason to believe that that's going to happen because, the past few defensive fronts they faced didn't really do anything. The Chiefs are excellent. I think they led the league in sacks and had a horrible secondary, which is kind of like how the Rams are built. The coaching staffs seem to overthink and worry too much about the run. Let Sonny Michel break off a couple big ones. It'll happen. They won't maintain it. Okay, it's one of those things where at some point Belichick will feel compelled to hand the ball to Brady, and that's when they get stopped.
So you got the Pats.
I do have the Pats. I believe that the score is going to be let's say 30. I'm going to go 32-28.
Okay.
Or 31-28 rather.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. 31-28. Not because I necessarily think they're the better team. I think Belichick and McVay engage in chess, and at day's end, the experienced team wins. And goodness knows, regardless of however old Wade Phillips is, all the experience is on the Patriots side. of the sideline. Of course, I said the Patriots are going to beat Nick Foles and the Eagles, but what do I know?
I said,
Not to mention, there's the whole karma of Murphy's Law that Tom Brady's probably going to win the next 3 Super Bowls just so I have to listen to morons like you try to tell me.
Oh, no! Here we go! Kai is so frisky. It's so frisky.
Oh, you feel better now? I didn't curse though, so you're probably still unsatisfied.
Yeah, like I said, I'm mostly in the Pats too for the same things you're saying. Also, I just think something feels in the air. Like to me, the Rams. The Rams are a better team in my opinion. Okay. That
being said, actually, real quick, I forgot to mention, I did pick the Rams in the preseason to win the day. But, yeah, right. I just don't. I'm not picking them here.
Yeah, in the moment. Right. All right. Did you were able to watch Roger Goodell's State of the NFL press conference?
I mean, I read the statement, yeah.
Well, I guess my criticism of Goodell more than anything else, not even so much what he said, but how he handled how the NFL in general handled the post-Rams Saints situation, the controversy of the no calls, all that, is that I wish somebody just said something and just made a statement and be done with it. Like somebody came out,
why? What did they gain?
Just come out and say something and be done with it.
Why? What do they gain? What's the positive in that?
That they can say that we said something about it and that's it. Cause a lot of the problems, a lot of the eye from Saints fans I heard, and by the way, I'm not defending the Saints here. Saints fans are annoying as shit now about this situation. Look, it is what it is. Move on. But it was
Go ahead.
It would done the NFL better to just say either apologize for how the official. We all know the officials were bad in that game anyway. Apologize, move on. Step on the sword and be done with it. Don't let this bleed into the Super Bowl. Is my point.
It's going to anyway. It already has, and it's irreversible. I don't know what Roger Goodell could do, nor any statement can do. They've already purchased the billboards in Atlanta. They're already all over social media. People in the press have decided to embrace them because being anti-NFL is something that's hip nowadays.
Yeah.
Even though their numbers keep going up, right?
Yeah.
I don't see what issuing a statement does. Why? All you do is validate all the haters and the trolls out there. What's the point?
I don't know. I just thought maybe just sit on the sword, say we apologize, the referees, whatever, and then call it.
Hey, listen, the fact that the NFL is even stopping and saying that they're going to address it in a rules committee is more than they should have gotten, and they're still going to do that. And I'm telling you, EJ Christian, I'm really worried that they're going to make the mistake of putting challenges for pass interference and judgment calls. That's not good.
I don't mind it if it's within 2 minutes of the game. Within 2 minutes, like the NBA has. Within 2 minutes each half. That's one thing.
So what happens is they take their 2 minutes to look at it. It's still inconclusive. We've wasted time. People still feel slighted. So by your own admission of efficiency being your request, you have thusly then inevitably made it inefficient.
Well, I think we want to still keep the human element of the game in. I do think we do need to. Look, I have mixed views about instant replay myself. That's for the record. I don't know if you know this. I just don't know if we want. I just don't want to dismiss it either. You want to keep the human element in the game also too. Because like I said, in the moment when I saw that play in the moment during the game, I thought it was a bang bang play.
Oh well. I'll file that under you problem, but guess what?
No, obviously looking back, it was
official in the nation if you're that guy.
No, obviously we've seen the replay over and over again. Like obviously it was a pass interference. Obviously not only was it a pass interference, also was a you could call it a head to helmet situation. But whatever.
I'm not even getting into the helmet. That I would have missed. What I'm talking about is it's obvious. At no point in time was the DB even thinking about pursuing the football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
All right. Report came out this morning that the New York Jets, who have loads of cap room, and a lot of one of the targets we've been hearing for months now is Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell. reportedly the Jets are fearful of paying Le'Veon Bell max money due to the fact that if he gets paid, that he may not be as motivated as he should be or would have been otherwise. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's an actual news headline. Anyone shocked by that being? Of course, that's a
any player.
This is a guy that's been suspended multiple times. This is a guy who complained about his contract before a playoff game, for goodness sake. Of course he's going to – I mean, listen, here's the thing, though. Here's what you got to remember, EJ. Le'Veon Bell at 75% is better than most running backs at 120, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And isn't that pretty much any player, like maybe 80% of the league? Anybody you pay max money that you would be fearful for? Staying the same? I mean, I don't know.
No, like would you, for just as a good example, would you be fearful to give Peyton Manning max money?
No.
Were you fearful to give Tom Brady max money?
They're the 20%, though, Kyle. They're the 20% I'm about to speak of.
So you don't think Le'Veon Bell is? Hold on. You don't think Le'Veon Bell is?
I'd be fearful of paying Le'Veon Bell money for two reasons. Number one is age. Number two, just the off-field shit.
Okay.
The Jets' fears are accurate and should be what they are.
Is he or is he not?
Huh? What's that again?
Le'Veon Bell is in the top 20% talent-wise, right?
No doubt. However, their fear of paying him max money, I share that. If I'm the Jets owner, I fear that too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But your statement was that's every player. No, it's not.
No, 80%. I said 80%.
No, it's not.
I said maybe 80% of the league. You probably fear that you won't get the same production from the player once you pay him max money.
Well, right, but it's more of a factor in Bell's case because, to your point, I mean, you can use the phrase "off the field shit," and it's still something that has a resume. It's not just a possibility. It's not just a possibility. We've seen him mess around off the field, and I'll leave it at that.
Right. All right. And last thing here, not a lot of news outside the league, outside the Super Bowl, of course. Deshaun Jackson apparently wants to be a Ram. He asked out from the Buccaneers out of his about 2 weeks ago, and it came up a couple days ago that he's interested in joining the Rams. Your thoughts on Deshaun Jackson? Will he be a good fit with the Rams moving forward?
Well, I think he's going to need to see what actually falls off of that roster in 2019 because you're aware they did a lot of grocery shopping and free agency in this offseason and got all sorts of stuff. It was the damn closest thing in real life that I've seen to like these old NBA live games where like you would have like Sean Kemp and like Shaquille O'Neal and Jordan and all these guys on the same team. That could never happen because the cap implications were just impossible to negotiate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he says that now, ... if they're able to maintain guys like Whitworth and that offensive line, which to be honest, it's been said that they're middle of the road at best. It's not to say they're bad, but they're good enough to maintain a balanced offense. That's what protects Jared Goff. But I say all that to say, if some of those pieces fall off, if some of these receivers are no more, then what? Also, Jackson's got to remember, he's of a particular age, and all he's ever been good for is a long ball threat. Can he still be that guy? Like, this isn't the NBA where, like, if you're a long ball threat and you're Ray Allen and you're, like, 45 years old, it's okay. Mm-hmm. No. You still need to run like a young man if you're a long ball threat in the NFL.
Right. All right, Kyle, we'll check it next week, of course, for maybe our last of the season, but this will go into the offseason, obviously. And possibly the AAF season if we are to cover that on the show going forward. So I can find you, of course, anything to promote, anything to plug?
Well, first of all, look out, EJ Christian, because coming up soon at Blue HQ Media is the Blue Revolution, be a series of podcasts we do on there. And among the shows picked up, one I know is a favorite of yours, my friend, me and Tokyo Jameson on Dinner Time. Mm-hmm. You got to love it, folks. Hey, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. And we'll leave it at that. Of course, there's always Default Assault where we do more good things. Of course, there's the Hilarity by Default required reading as well. Default Assault has become a whole new show where we have takes on funny headlines and stuff. It's definitely a good time all the way around. And Tokyo Jameson and Demosthenes Euclid and myself, good times. Of course, you know, I'm still doing Sports Awesome for sportsmediapass.com, which is a product of Blue HQ Media. And though I haven't put out a piece in about a week and a half, I am still writing for the Dolphins Wire of USA Today. So there's all that, man. And, of course, I'm looking forward to whatever you get involved with me in, so long as you can handle the truth, which you struggle with at times, Patriots fan. I'm just saying.
As I roll my eyes, you saying this crap. Go ahead.
Hey, listen. All I can tell you is I got Bobby Wagner to refer to your dude as Rusty. That's all
true.
I'm saying.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I smile. I was at work when you said it to me. I smile like a little kid. It's like, oh my god, this is cool.
Yeah, no, it was a good time, man. The article I wrote up on that interview is actually on sportsmediapass.com as well. So check that out. But until next time, everybody, hopefully more than one more week.
Yes.
Class dismissed.